Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday week and some nice time off with family and friends. Today, I want to take a look back at the price history for Bitcoin on Thanksgiving Day and talk a little bit about those conversations you might be having at that Thanksgiving table. If you get a chance to watch this video today, great. If you're not here, well, that's okay. I hope you're having a great time with your family and friends. In this video as well, I want to talk about a Jim Cramer price prediction, as the inverse Cramer theory still is applying to this market. Just days ago, he called for lower price action on Bitcoin, saying that he was officially bearish on Bitcoin. And now we are seeing higher prices for BTC. Putting all of this together, along with a new prediction coming out from Jim Cramer. In fact, a bullish prediction from Jim Cramer. What does all this mean today? Let's talk a little bit about it in this video. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I am Crypto Kip. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more crypto content. Let's jump right into this historical data that I see so many people posting over on X. I could have grabbed 1,000 different tweets where everybody loves to do this on Christmas, on Halloween, Bitcoin price on Thanksgiving. Actually, as I was opening up the timeline today, I was like, you know what? I bet you I'm going to see somebody posting this. I was thinking maybe I should be posting, whatever. So here I found it. Okay. All the way back to 2010. To think that you could have bought Bitcoin at 28 cents is unbelievable. Now, I got into Bitcoin and crypto in 2016, and actually the lowest price that I saw was $400 for Bitcoin personally, which was an incredible, unbelievable thing that I was able to see and buy Bitcoin at $400, feeling quite lucky to have had that opportunity to do so. That being said, this market is not the easiest thing in the world, right? There are altcoins out there. There is leverage trading, which can be a great tool. It can also hurt you if you're not careful with it. Currently, I'm actually still in a short position on Bitcoin. I have my take profit set, $1,000 into the profit on this Bitcoin short that I opened above $100,000. That's still $3,600 in the profit. It might get stopped out. Jim Cramer came out and said, hey, the markets will explode if the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates. And so we'll explore that here in a second. But on this trade, what I've done is set my stop loss. I'm trading over on Blowfin, by the way. And if you guys want to do some trading as well, as you're looking at some of the information here in this video today or looking at the news out there, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing here is financial advice. You have to do your own research. But if you want to do some trading, check out the link in the description of this video, pinned in the comment section as well. When you sign up for Blowfin, you don't even have to deposit anything. You get free access to our Discord when you sign up for Blowfin. And there are deposit bonuses when you deposit. And there's a trading contest going on over on Blowfin. Really for trading volume. So if you meet certain trading volume criteria, you get these free prizes. All you got to do is do some trades. It's super easy to sign up for Blowfin. It's an email address, it's a phone number, and a password, and you're done. One or the other, super easy to do. What does this Thanksgiving price action mean for us today? Well, I want to just look at this for you, and let's kind of go out to let's look at the 2021 high compared to 2020, where we were kind of coming back up. 2019 close to the bottom. 2018 was really the bottom of the bear market. So the bottom of the bear market in 2018 went from $4,000 on November. Okay, that was like right around the absolute low, November of 2018. And we then rallied into 2019, and 2020 had a nice high at 18,000. Now, 2021 was, of course, the absolute peak of the bull market. 2020 was obviously a good year where we had some nice price action, some nice upside, but 2021 is where we saw the peak. And actually, it ended up getting to right at about $69,000 was that high in 2021. But then just look at the year after, back down to $16,000. You look at 2023, it doubled again. And you look at 2024, and it basically over tripled that, which was spectacular. Here's 2025. We're actually a little bit lower. So what I want you guys to kind of look at is some of these other previous things that we've seen. Like, here's a good example. 2016, 2017 then was a much bigger jump. Here we are. This is kind of supposed to be that bull market year, 2025. Generally a little bit weaker, right? It's crazy to think that November of 2024 was actually higher than November of 2025. I think if you had to go back in time, a lot of people the way that people were talking about this, you'd see that a lot of people were kind of wrong. A lot of people thought maybe there was going to be a top in November. Clearly, the TA suggested October, November, maybe December would clearly be, the end of a 4-year cycle. I'm not really surprised to see this price action right now. What does this mean for us? I mean, because we have like these lower years, like 16, 37, 95, 91. Are we going to get another lower number in 2026 in November? And that's actually a very hard thing for me to personally determine. But I want you to realize, though, over time is the most important thing. In 2010, it was at 28 cents. In 2016, it was at $739. Let's go to 2021, it's at $58,000. Here we are, 2025, it's $91,000. What do you think it's going to be by 2030? Right? Probably a lot bigger. That's the point here. I love this first comment. Zoom out and DCA Bitcoin. It's very simple. That's the biggest takeaway from this Bitcoin news. Let's focus in on this inverse Cramer idea, because you cannot deny that Jim Cramer said on November 21st that he's now bearish on Bitcoin. November 21st, Jim Cramer said he's bearish on Bitcoin. November 21st, literally this candle is November 21st. On that day, Bitcoin went down to $80,000, and then it bottomed that very day. In this red circle is where Jim Cramer said he was bearish on Bitcoin. It was very particularly the absolute low. That day was the day he said it. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days where we ended up much higher. In fact, from that low on the day that Jim Cramer said he was bearish, Bitcoin rallied 13%. The inverse Cramer theory holds true. Here's the problem. Jim Cramer's now coming out saying the markets will explode if the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates. Oh, no. That is interesting, because if the inverse Cramer theory is true, that means that if Jim Cramer says the market will explode, it means that the market could tumble if inverse Cramer theory is true. Now, what do I think about this? I think that the inverse Cramer theory is silly. I think it's fun. I think that it's generally pretty accurate, but it ain't no perfect science, that's for sure. I also believe that Jim Cramer has a point that if the Federal Reserve cuts the interest rates, that's potentially very bullish for risk on assets, stocks, and crypto as well. But I also believe that for crypto specifically, we are going into a bear market. I think we're in one. I think we're going into one. I think the rally that we're seeing right now is arguably a dead cat bounce. I'm not scared about my short position right now. If it gets stopped out in the profit, I'm totally okay with that. That's why I set stop losses on most of my trades. That's why I have a stop loss set on this, a take profit set, where I know I will at least profit $1,000. At one point, this trade was up to $5,000 the profit. I could have certainly sold there and maybe tried to time a bounce on the Jim Cramer inverse. He says he's bearish. Oh, maybe I should open up a long. These are some thoughts that maybe you're looking at. You can do this a lot of different ways. What I'm trying to do personally is catch a short position that's going to last through the duration of a bear market. If you look at the history of the asset class, you will see two things. One, over time, Bitcoin continues to go up in price. But you'll also see that when you look at Bitcoin and you study the price charts for Bitcoin, and you look at bear markets versus bull markets, a bull market lasts about 1,075 days, and a bear market lasts from the highs to the lows roughly about 365 days. It's generally basically 1 year of bear market from the highs to the lows is what we see basically time and time again, right around 365, sometimes 370 days. I expect a bottom of this bear market sometime around September, October, or November of 2026. In the meantime, this bounce that we're seeing, I believe it's some kind of dead cat bounce. I believe that inverse Cramer will probably hold true in some capacity in this comment of Jim Cramer saying if we see federal interest rates cut, which we probably are going to see those rates cut, I believe that we will see lower prices after that cut. Not immediately, maybe, because again, that's a very bullish catalyst, but I do believe that any rally we see on the rate cuts could just be a part of a tricky dead cat bounce. And you could see Bitcoin get back above 110 or something like that, but the odds of Bitcoin taking a new high, I think they're very low. Personally, I just don't really believe it. I also wanted to point out two other stories. Tom Lee is now softening his Bitcoin predictions. If you haven't seen this, He has now softened his 250K Bitcoin prediction to year end and says that a year-end all-time high is maybe. I don't think so, but still expects BTC to surpass 100K before 2025 ends. And I can agree with him there, but I think that's a part of the dead cat bounce personally. We also did have a Korean exchange. Upbit was hacked. $36 million was drained on the Solana network in an attack. The exchange is going to fully recoup all the losses for their users. They're going to refund all the users for any losses that are had. I haven't heard of any hacks over on Blowfin. I like Blowfin a lot. They also have reserves 1-to-1, I believe, for their assets. I like trading over there a lot. So if you want to sign up for Blowfin, check out the link in the description down below. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That's all I have for you in this one. I'm Crypto Kit. This is the Crypto Report. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. DCA, hold on, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys. Happy turkey times.